How's it going? We're going to take a look at another trading game. This time we're going to take a look at Ports of Call. We're going to take a look at the Amiga version. I think it's slightly better than the DOS version. It's got slightly better graphics, slightly better sound effects. Now, Ports of Call is a little bit of a rabbit hole. Developed all the way back in 1986 by Rolf, Klein and Martin Ulrich. I believe they're still working on the game to this day. There's a whole bunch of different versions for this game. I think it was on Amiga and DOS. It might have been on a few other systems back in the 80s. And then in the 90s, I believe a version of it came out on Windows. And then at some point, a version came out called Ports of Call XXL, which to me looks totally different to this original version. This version is now called the classic version. You can go on their website and still buy this. I think this version might even be available on Steam and GOG. But the XXL version looks like it's got a lot more going on. It almost looks like an updated version of Ocean Trader. There's lots of depth to it. And apparently it's reasonably easy to mod. So there's a small modding scene for that game as well. There's a small community that really like that game. There are a couple of other newer versions as well. There's a 3D version, which I'm not sure when that originally came out, but an updated version of the 3D version was released, I believe, this year, and it's on Steam. So a whole bunch of different versions of this game that's still being worked on. Anyway, we're just going to take a look at the classic version today. Now, I have played this a whole bunch of times, and I've been terrible at it. And a reason is, I believe it's one of those games where the manual just sort of gives you a rough hint of what you're supposed to do, and then you just need to figure it out. You just need to keep playing and failing and sort of seeing what works. Or, back in the day, you can ask a friend. Now, we don't want to load a game. We want to start a new one. We'll just leave it on unlimited. I'm going to choose beginner. Avoid the Bermuda Triangle. Okay, we'll try and do that. And I'm going to choose one player. This version of the game doesn't have any AI players. I believe some of the newer versions do. There's quite a popular version, I think, for iOS and Android, actually. So there's a mobile version of it as well. Those, I believe, have AI. This classic version doesn't, but it's got hot seating for multiple human players. But we're just going to choose one. I'm going to call myself... oh, yeah, I need to go into game focus mode. I'm going to call myself Copper. And we'll call ourselves Cop Limited. Really imaginative. Right. Do you know how to make a single bow line? I do not. Right. Okay. Straight away, I need to read you something from the manual to sort of just give you an indication of how this game was meant to be played back in the day. Okay. So this right here is from the manual. A player's chances of success improve the more they know about international shipping. All data for the game originated from actual developments in the maritime world, the fluctuation of freight rates, refueling costs, port charges, and ship operating costs. The ship operating costs include amounts payable for tax, management, crew expenses, safety precautions, and other costs. These vary significantly from country to country. These general costs are calculated for each individual ship and are reduced in accordance with the subsidies, tax reductions, etc. that are valid in the country of registration. The accounts are then automatically debited periodically without the knowledge of the owner. Right. So basically, there's more to the manual, but I'm not going to bore you by reading it all. The game is trying to be an accurate simulation of real-world shipping, and there's a lot of shenanigans that go on with real-world shipping. For example, a shipping company is probably registered in one company, but it will buy ships from another country, and that ship will be registered in a totally different country. Reason being, different countries have various different rules and regulations about ships and who can work on them and safety. And so you will find an awful lot of ships in the world today registered in Panama or Malta, for example. And there's probably tax reasons for that. And there's probably a whole bunch of other cost-saving reasons that you would register your ships in those countries and not the country where you might have your main office. The game's going to take that into account. So when you start the game, you need to choose your home port, which is what we're going to do here. if we choose a country like America, which we are going to do, I think we are going to start in Houston. The running costs of your company and the ship are going to be a lot higher than if you registered it somewhere else. For example, if we went and registered in Lagos, maybe, or Lima. You just don't know this at the start of the game. You just need to play it and sort of try and figure it out. There are going to be some really good trade routes that you're going to find. There are going to be some terrible ones. I started off the game, and the most money I was being offered for a run of cargo was like around 100,000, which I thought sounded like a lot of money. 100,000 in this game is absolute peanuts. I think after a couple of runs, I had made about 9,000 profit. That's before taxes. And then I needed to refuel my ship. So I'd actually made a huge loss. So knowing some good trade routes before you've even started the game is sort of essential, or else you're just going to fail. There are other traps you can fall into, but let's get this loaded up first. It's got quite a nice little... it's not really 3D, but I'll show it to you in a minute. But anyway, our home port is down here in Houston, which I believe is in Texas. If it's not in Texas, don't get too angry at me. Right, anyway, here's the main screen. When we own a ship, we hit start action and time starts moving by. But first of all, we're going to go and take a look at the globe. And, okay, we can't do that because we don't own a ship yet. Let's go buy a ship. We start with 4 million in the bank. Okay, so we're at the shipbrokers. There's a whole bunch of different things we can do here. Now, the consulting division isn't open at the start of the game. I think this might be where you can order new ships. Have a ship constructed for you, but it's going to take time to be built. Seller's market, you can sell off ships. We've got the low-cost ships, pre-owned ships, and high-tech ships. The temptation at the start of the game, because you don't have much money, is to go and buy a low-cost ship. This is a trap. If you buy one of these ships, you are really going to struggle to make money with it. Apparently, there's various different things going on in the background of the game. For example, your cargo slowly degrades, and I think that depends on the various different sort of stats on your ship. One of them being its current state of repair. Now, if you buy one of these used ships, it's probably going to be delivered to you at 50%, maybe below, and it's going to cost an absolute fortune to get it up close to 100% again. So it's probably not worth doing. And I think there is a mechanic where the more damaged your ship, it reduces the cargo over the cargo run. Now, don't quote me on that, but that's what I've been reading on the forums. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, there's probably a gameplay style where using these really run-down ships at the start of the game makes sense. And it could be maybe if you're doing short trade routes in developing nations, and you start off with an office in one of them, and so your overheads are really low. Maybe that's a way to play the game. But buying this ship and then starting off in America, I lost money. Absolutely no way to make money at all. And it doesn't have a huge amount of cargo space, and it uses a reasonable amount of fuel. Anyway, so let's go back. We're definitely not going to be able to afford one of the high-tech ships. They have cost far too much money, but this is what you want to aim for eventually. Now, I believe there's only 3 types of ship in the game, these 3, but there's various different sizes of each one. But anyway, let's go to pre-owned ships. We want to try and buy this one, but you're like, well, we don't have the money. We can take out a mortgage on it. So if we look at the info on this one, it can take 3,500. It's not that much more expensive than the old Rust bucket that we were looking at. It can go faster. We don't necessarily have to consume that much fuel each day. We can tinker with that by changing our speed over the course of a cargo run. So we're going to buy this one. We're going to have to take out a deposit. We're going to call it the MS Rustolian, even though it's not in terrible shape. We're going to take out a 50% mortgage on this ship, I believe. Dear ship owner Cobber, you have overestimated your financial potential. I suggest you try and raise some cash before you sign your next contract, right? The contract. Okay. That's fine. Okay, right. So we bought that, I'm pretty sure. No, did that? No, we didn't. That just cost us money. Hang on a minute. Maybe I can go for a much smaller deposit. If we did a 25%, how much is it going to cost? No, we don't have enough money. That worked the last time I tried to do it. Let's just go back. Call it Rusty. Maybe a 25%. Oh, no. The mortgage is already there. I forgot that. How much? No, yeah, okay. Sorry. I thought I had to put in how much I was going to mortgage it for, but it's already done for you. Anyway, let's get back out here. Let's quit here. You've got your office. Now, this just basically gives you a bunch of stats. We can see some ships here that we've got. Depending on how well you're doing, I believe this office screen changes. Anyway, we can get a breakdown of our income and our expenses. We've got our possessions here. So the value of our ships. Now the value of the ships changes as well. So a strategy is at the start of the game, you can look at the value of the ships. You can wait a couple of days and check them again, see what price they are. Some people, I've seen somebody on YouTube playing the game where all they're doing is buying and selling ships. They're not moving any cargo around. They're just speculating on ships and then waiting for the values to change and treating the ships almost like a little bit of a stock market. But anyway, yeah, we've got a fairly hefty mortgage there. And we've got property, various other different assets. There's not going to be anything on this yet because no time has passed. Look at our ships. We've got one Model 81 and we've got the large size. So that's pretty good. Got our bank accounts, how much we owe, how much cash we've got. We don't have any credit yet. Now, I believe credit is you can take out loans, which is slightly different to the mortgages. And then we've got ranking list, but we don't need to look at that because we are the only player in the game. We can raise mortgages, I believe, on our ships. We can pay off our mortgage. And then, yeah, here's how we obtain credit and repay it. And we can change our home port, which, again, you might want to do depending on where you're doing a lot of your trading, but it's just not documented anywhere, so you just have to sort of play and figure out whether moving your home port makes sense or not. Now that we've got a ship, we can go up here, we can click on this. It'll point out like where our ship is and what it's doing, so it's at its mooring. But I thought this was really cool. Now I know it's not proper 3D, but it's sort of pseudo 3D, isn't it? That must have been kind of cool for 1986 to be able to move this globe around like that. Anyway, that's our one ship. So what do we do now? Well, we've bought the ship, but it hasn't been delivered to us yet, so we just need to wait. Time's going to tick by. These little numbers here in the circles are storms, and the higher the number, the higher the strength of the storm. You need to be careful of that. Storms are almost like, they're not really like a mini game, but we'll probably encounter one, and you're given a choice. You can either plow straight through it, your ship's probably going to take damage, or you can go around it, but going around it, it's going to take time. Now, we can, the conditions are 80%, which is pretty good. If we go and click on repair, it will show us the cost per percent. I would wait until you've got it below 60,000, sort of in the 50,000s. Seems like a reasonable price. So we're certainly not going to get it repaired here. And then refuel, how much fuel does it start off? Oh, hardly anything. This is really expensive. You want to try and buy fuel when it's below 100. I believe the cost of fuel will fluctuate from country to country and also over time between $60 and I think like $190 or thereabouts. This is really expensive, but we don't really have a choice because I want to do quite a long trade route. So we're going to have to do this. Look at how much money it's going to cost us just to fill our ship up with fuel. Fair bit. Right. Now, I didn't really fully understand how the cargo worked in this game, because all the other trading games we played, you pick what cargo you want, and you pick how much of it you want, and you put it on your ship. You don't really do that here. It's a predetermined amount, I think, determined on the size of your cargo hold, and then I believe there are some other stats going on in the background, one of them being, I believe, the condition of your ship, which determines how much of that cargo makes it to the destination port. So we click through here, and this is, you choose what destination you want to go to. We're going to go to Calcutta. It's quite a distance away, but I believe we should be able to do it with 50% fuel if we don't go at full speed. Now you can see some of them just give a rate. This is how much we're going to get paid. Some of them give quite a high rate, and they've also got a penalty. Now these are similar to contracts in like Ocean Trader. We got 52 days to get there. For every day that we're late, we are going to incur this cost. This can add up fast, so something to think about. Now, we've only got 50% fuel, so we can't run at full speed to get to Calcutta. And if we wanted to try to do this, we really would need to be running at close to full speed. It takes time to load up the ship. This large ship, it might take 6 days to load it up, I think, and offload it, which in total is 12 days. That's 12 days out of your 52 days here. So you need to keep that in mind when you're deciding one of these to do. Chemicals, that's pretty good, and there's no penalty on that either. Now we could move arms. Arms is going to make us the most money. I think we will try and move arms. I don't know if there's a risk of the ship being sort of impounded or something if you're moving certain goods. It hasn't happened to me yet, so I don't think there's a problem with moving arms. It does seem quite a generous amount to be paid, but that's what we're going to go with. Right, so then now we've done that, we're going to click load. All right. We've now got a little mini game we can do. If you're playing with one of the really old rusty ships and you're doing what I mentioned earlier, where you've got it in a certain part of the world and you're playing the game in a slightly different way, $5,000 is probably a lot of money and you can't afford to lose it. Because of how we're playing, and we're picking contracts that are making us hopefully millions before our fees are taken out, you probably could afford to just use the tug all the time. But I'm going to steer it by hand because I want to show it off. So this is our ship, and we just need to get it out of the port. So I'm going to put the speed on there. And if 1 pixel of your ship touches the dock, you're going to incur a hefty fine and damage to your ship. You might have to go into reverse here for a bit. No, it's looking like it might turn around. I'll go into reverse a little bit. Now, some of the brand new ships, those ones that we were looking at the top of the broker screen, they have bow thrusters, which makes it a lot easier to maneuver your ship around, but we're going to make do with this. Do you have a time limit? But it's fairly generous. I haven't run out of time yet. You don't have to turn your ship around to leave the port either. If your ship was up here backwards, you could just reverse it out. It's slightly harder when you're docking your ship, but anyway, I should have checked exactly how many tons of fuel I've got, because then we could have worked this out. But I believe we might have to go down to 13 to be safe. Yeah, 13. I believe that'll get us there. We're going to use 31 tons a day for 38 days. If you're going to really get into this game, it might help to have a calculator on the screen or on your desk, and to remember how many tons of fuel you've got, just to know that you're going to make it. I think we're going to make it with that, so we'll click OK. Off we go. Now, hopefully we don't encounter any storms. Now, there are other random events as well. Sometimes you get close or collision warnings where there's another ship that's nearby. A little mini game pops up. There's a radar screen. You need to try and dodge the ship. Now, we might incur costs here at the Suez Canal. Yep, 70k. And you can't choose your route either, I don't think. Like, it's always... the routes between ports are predefined, so there's not like there was a way of avoiding the Suez Canal, at least as far as I'm aware. Here we are. Now we need to go into port. I'll steer it by hand again. This should be fairly easy. I'll sort of go in here, get it nice and straight, and then I'll reverse it in. Now this was a shareware game back in the day, which was basically given out for free, a bit like a demo, where you could play it for an hour. And then if you liked it enough and you wanted the full version, then you... I'll just concentrate a little bit here. Ooh, real close. Then you would write in to the guys that actually made the game. You'd send them some money, and they would send you the full version of the game back. I'm so close to the dock there. I think we need to reverse a little bit now. You can't park it when you're all jagged like this. You need to kind of straighten out a bit. We're really pushing our luck here. There we go. We just did that. Come on, stop. Okay, so we made some money. We made a reasonable amount of money. That's probably the most money I've ever made in this game. Our ship condition has dropped by 2%, down to 78. Let's have a look at repairing it. 56,000. That's not too bad. We probably don't want to repair the full amount, so what we'll do is we'll do 10. Okay, we'll repair 10%. Takes time to repair. There are costs while we're sat here at the dock as well going on in the background, so we need to be aware of that. We're down to 2.5 million. We could do with refueling. Again, really expensive and not ideal. But we need to get back to Houston, so we didn't really have a choice. We had to buy it. Let's charter. I'm going to go back to Houston because that always seems like a good trade route. And you can see, because of the costs we incur, making a few $100,000, it's not enough. It's not enough money. So you really have to find some decent trade routes. And just like the manual said, like if you don't know much about the maritime industry back in the mid-1980s, you might be a bit stuck. Anyway, here we go. We've got a contract here for just over $1 million. We need to get there within 49 days. I might cancel. I might buy more fuel. Okay. So we're down to 2.2 million. Let's go back to charter. And we're going to try and do this within 49 days. I believe we can just about make it. We should have plenty of time, actually. I think we'll do this in 49 days. Hopefully. Anyway, let's load up. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it only took 3 days to load that on. I'm going to use the tug's help. That's if they are working at the moment. And I forgot to remember exactly how many tons of fuel we had again. It's going to take 29 days. I think we're okay. If we dropped it to 16 a day, take 31 days. I think we're pushing it a bit. I think we can go at full speed with a tank of 75%. So hopefully we won't run out of fuel. I've never run out of fuel before, so I'm not really 100% sure what happens when you do run out of fuel. Ooh, you have neglected your office and someone took a different... Right. So this is something that happens. If you don't regularly visit your office, you will get robbed occasionally, and it hurts. So, yeah, we lost $1/3 of a million there. To visit your office, you need to stop the action, click on your office. And we can go in here. We could look at our income and expenditure, which probably isn't going to look too healthy at the moment. So considering they're trying to sort of simulate sort of real world maritime sort of economics and things like that going on, there's still some quirky little things in the game like that, like your office sort of getting robbed because you didn't check on it, which to me now feels maybe a tiny bit out of place, but I guess all of these little mini games and events helped to our mortgage is due, give the game a little bit more personality. So we probably didn't make much money on this run. We'll use the tug if they're not on strike. Sometimes the dock workers are on strike, so the tugs aren't working. 2.7, we made a little bit. We go to refuel, and there we go. Look, we absolutely want to make the most of that. We will completely fill up the ship. What about repair costs? Are they still the same? They've gone up a little bit. So you can see that even though we're back at Houston, the cost is different to what it was the last time we checked. We're not going to do it. I think we'll do one more charter. I'm hoping that we bump into another ship so I can show that off. We'll just check some of these. What have we got going on here? Yeah, anything less than $1 million, we want to be a bit dubious of. There's this, and that's not too far away. We could probably pull this off. So that's 1.3 mil. Tokyo, that is... If we're going to go to Tokyo from here, we'd have to go through the Panama Canal. That's going to cost us some money. Yeah, 1.3. Hong Kong. There is 2 million. Okay, that could be tempting. But then look at the penalty. If you ran into a storm or something like that, something that slowed you down, the penalties can be devastating. I mean, they could ruin you. But it's tempting. We have to get to Hong Kong. It's a little bit closer than Calcutta, and we've got 52 days to get there. Anyway, let's see what Calcutta's offering us. Okay, we've got 54 days to make 2.5 mil in chemicals. That's probably what I'm going to try and do, you know. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's do that. Let's get the chemicals there in 54 days. We'll try to anyway. So we'll click OK. Yeah, we've got... Okay, right, when I went to refuel... it doesn't say... I can check somewhere the stats of my ship. How much fuel there? 3,500 tons. Okay, so we'll load up. Let me just get my calculator ready. We'll use the tug's help. They're on strike. Okay, we'll steer it by hand. Okay, we probably want to reverse here. Reverse around this corner. It's like taking my driving test all over again. Let's go out a little bit, then go in a bit. It's quite difficult with the mouse. Now, if you've got the Amiga version, I believe you can use the arrow keys to do this. Let me try, actually. No, I can't. It might be the DOS version then, where you could use the arrow keys. One of the versions that use the arrow keys. Okay, we're going to get a bit close there. And you can have more than one ship, I believe. So once you've got enough money to get another one of these, you can start looking for another trade route. You can really get into it. Although, if you really, really like this game, it might be worth taking a look at Ports of Call XXL, because that just looks like it's got so much more going on. And some people, it looks like some people really get into that game. Right, so 69 tons a day, 29 days. So I'm not very quick at arithmetic, mental arithmetic. So 69 times 29 2,000 tons of fuel. So we can absolutely beeline it there. Hopefully we don't run into any storms. If we wanted to try and be really efficient, we could have used a bit less. Oh, what's going on now? Okay, we've run into a Category 10 storm. It's going to take us 2 days to go round. We'll go round. It's only 2 days. I think we'll be okay. I don't think we should run into many storms in the middle of the Med. We still haven't... Here we go. Suez Canal again. I'm not sure if you have to pay it every time you go through the canal. I'm not sure. Anyway, hang on. Let's stop. Let's go into our office. I think just going on your going into your office is good enough to avoid getting robbed. If I look at this, what have we got going on here? Income and expenses. Income, expenses. Yeah, but that's because we bought the ship. You're only doing interest payments for the mortgage. So if you want to get rid of the mortgage, you need to come here and stop trying to pay it off. Yeah, pay off how much. So you can choose how much you're gonna pay off. I believe you incur a fee for trying to pay it off as well. Oh, I want to go back. I don't want to do it. Pay off how much? 10. We'll pay off 1,000 thousands is 1 million, isn't it? There we go. So we paid off a good chunk of our mortgage. Let's keep going. We should get to Calcutta soon. Hopefully we don't have to manually go into the port. Use the tug. Ah, they're on strike here as well. It's okay. All the ports, I believe, have a slightly different layout. Some of them are quite difficult. I think Vancouver has got some really sort of tight little channels you've got to get through. We'll go in here. We'll try and not crash our ship. So the water here is sort of animated, which it isn't on the DOS version. It's just a block of blue, and there's a little bit more detail to the surroundings of the dock here. Going quite fast. Slow down. Probably want to go up there. No. And I'll reverse her in. Let's go here. Do that. Going quite well. Try and gently ease her into the dock there. Have to swing around quite tight, I think. Just one pixel touches, it's going to cost us a lot of money. Oh, I think I'm going to hit. I'm going to hit. Oh, that is so close. Oh, we hit. Okay, the tugs had to come out and get us, and we lost a bunch of durability on the ship. Not the end of the world. There we go. We've got a good chunk of money in the bank account. That's pretty much the game. I did want to show off the little mini game. Do you know what? I'm going to carry on playing, and I will cut it in when it happens. And then we will finish the video. All right, here we go. So we've got the mini game is about to start. The radar echo shows a ship on collision course. Situation extremely critical. Do something quickly. So we can either move starboard or port, or reverse, or go forward. So we need to look, see where it is. Right, it's dead ahead. Go reverse and go starboard, maybe. No, go port. Well, there's another one there. Go dead ahead. Okay, I think we've missed it. We can go forward. Hey, there we go. You don't have long to react on those little mini games. I've paid off my mortgage, and We've had a couple of not very profitable runs, but this one should have been profitable. And we're at 3.1 million. So we should be in a position now where we could probably buy another ship with a mortgage. Let's just check. We're probably a little bit damaged because I went through some storms, but that's okay. Refuel. I've been unlucky with the fuel lately, but we'll fully fill that up. I kind of want to see if I can get a second ship. Let's... what can I chart here? If we go back to Houston... Yeah, see, the runs back to Houston have been like really quite bad from here. Probably because I keep running the same stuff. Like 467,000 might just be enough to cover costs. Just. Let's run it. How do you like a strictly confidential collateral agreement? I have no idea what this means. I'll click yes. I'll pay 50,000 for the quiet forwarding of a handy little chest. 50,000 isn't a lot. It's probably not worth to risk it, but we'll do it. We'll see what happens. We'll see what speed we can go at. Use tug's help. We'll go a little bit slower than normal, just to save on fuel. See, the longer you're at sea, the higher chance of bumping into a storm, I guess. So that's to be taken into account as well. I haven't checked my office in a while, actually. Office. We probably don't have quite enough money. Let's have. Well, let's just see what the ships cost at the moment. 3.8. Yeah, we could buy one with a 50% mortgage. So if I go buy, yeah, mortgage 50%. What should we call this one? The MS. The MS. Sinkable. Do you want to deposit more? No, I don't. So where is the ship? That's the thing. Gonna be quite long cash now. We'll probably have to wait a couple of days for it to pop up. There it is. All right, where can we get this going to? 0.9 in the bank, and she is sinkable. Let's have a look. 80%. We don't have it. We don't have the money to be doing this. What about refuel? Ooh, she needs some fuel. She needs some fuel. We have to pay for it. We don't have a choice. Charter. We could get it doing this. Oh, arms is free. Yeah, that'll be a good run. Apparently, another good trade route is between San Francisco and Cape Town, but I just don't know how you move your ship to another port. Like, you've only got a limited number of options here. So you might have to jump through some ports to sort of get where you want to go. Tokyo or Hong Kong probably do have a route back to San Francisco, though. But I think we can go from Calcutta to one of those anyway. Anyway, let's move arms with this ship. Yeah, we'll load her up. And we've got 2 ships doing things now. Canal fees, yeah, that's fine. I can see how this game, you know, back in 1986 could be kind of addictive. Especially after you've been messing around with it and losing money, you don't know what to do, and you finally find some trade routes that are making you some money. Yeah, I can see how you can get into it. And once you've got a buffer of money as well, you've then got the time to sort of start experimenting a little bit. Got to do this manually. Getting a little bit overconfident with this mini game. I've almost crashed the boat a couple of times. Come on. Let's go forward. Oh, the back end might just... No, we're good, we're good, we're good. Oh, wrong way, wrong way. Come on, we need to go forward. What are you doing, boat? Let's not sink in the harbour. There we go. Run it out. Right, she can't go full speed, can she? Because she's only got 75% fuel. Now, boats are going to pass one another. Like ships in the night. Oh, no. She got hit by a storm. I'm just going to have to send her through. Yeah, pass through. She doesn't have the fuel to be like faffing around for 11 days, so... Our other boat got caught by the same storm. 8 days, just pass through it. See, this trip has probably lost us a little bit of money. I should probably check the office again. It's probably the only thing in this game I find mildly irritating is having to constantly check the office, or otherwise you get randomly robbed every now and again. Use the tug's help. Do we make any money on that run? Probably not. Oh no, your ship is being detained. Are you going to grease the corresponding palms? I'm guessing we've got to. How much? I don't even know how much money I've got in the bank. 50 grand. Thank you. 0.9. We made a little bit of money on that run. I don't think you can... You've got to do something with your boat now to carry on the game. We can't get back to the main menu. We could layer up, but it's going to cost us money. I'll tell you what we'll do. I meant to end this episode a while ago, but I'm kind of getting stuck in this now. We don't have the money to repair it. She's at 85%. That's fine. We do need to refuel. Well, do we? She's okay. We should do, though, because it's fairly cheap. Right. We will charter, but we are going to go to... What can we do here? I reckon we can get to Tokyo in under 41 days. What about Hong Kong? Actually, no. We will move... Oh, no. Hong Kong, that's 48 days. Yeah, we'll go to Hong Kong. 48 days, 931. Yeah, we'll be fine. Our other boat's about to get to Calcutta. We're going to go through the Panama Canal, which I don't know how much that costs, actually. Use Tug's help. Going to go full speed. I hope you don't bump into any storms. Yeah. How much is this going to cost? The same amount. Okay. I don't know if the costs are different depending on the size of the ship either. I'm not sure about that. Okay, we should have made a fair chunk of change removing those arms. Yep, we're up to 2 million. Can we do repairs? How much does that cost? 1.5 mil. We've only got 2 in the bank. We'll do... She's at 73%. I'll do 10. Yeah. Spend half a mil on getting some repairs done. Okay, I think our repairs are done. And then what about refueling? Really expensive, but we need a minimum of 50 in the tank to get back home, so we'll charter. Houston, that's nothing. Oh, none of this is great. Yeah, the runs back home are terrible. I guess it's just luck, isn't it? We'll do that. It might just about cover costs. Load. We've got 2 ships running now, so it's not too bad. Use Tug's help. Right, you can't go full speed. We've got to cut down to 17. 14, sorry. Right. What's happened here? You're just going to have to go through it. I didn't see a storm pop up there. Hopefully we made it in time. Ooh, we've got another collision pop up. Do something quick. Go port and reverse. Oh, no forward. I think we just missed them. Yeah. Use Tug's help. to pay our fees at the Suez Canal. Stop, check our office before we get robbed. Go back. Okay, I think we would have dropped our goods here. Back up above 2 mil, that's pretty good. How much are repairs here? Too expensive. We're above 80%, so that's not terrible. Refuel. Let's go to 50. It's a bit expensive. Can we charter over to... See, like, we can't get to San... Where was it? San Francisco I want to get to. I mean, Pearl Harbor would get us close. 1, 2, 3. Pearl Harbor isn't too far away. Move machinery to Pearl Harbor. Go on. Use tugs help. You can't really go. Go at 14. What happened here? No, just pass through it. I'm assuming Pearl Harbor's here. Yeah, that looks like Hawaii's marked there. Yeah, okay, we paid the mortgage. Another storm? Yeah, just pass through it. Use tugs help. Use tugs help. Once you've got a whole bunch of ships, you're going to be the game's going to be stopping constantly, I think. So at 2.1, so we didn't really make any money. What are the repairs here? Okay, they're too expensive. We're down to 73%. That's not great. Oh, the fuel's really expensive here as well. Can we charter to... Okay, we can get to San Francisco. Let's do that. Yeah, load up. We'll check out what trade routes are at San Francisco, and then I'm going to call it. Otherwise, I'll be playing this constantly. We're up to 2.4. We made a little bit of money on that run. How much are repairs? Still too expensive. Refuel. Oh, we'll have to go up to 50. What charter can we do? Calcutta. 500,000. 400. Arms. Whoa. Okay, right. Okay, right. We need all the fuel. Need all the fuel. Oh, no. Wait, no. Calcutta. Oh, there we go. 4 mil. 36 days. Can we do it in 36 days? I'm not even sure that's possible. It's going to take us 3. It's going to take 6 days. So can we, going at top speed, make it there in 30 days? Oh, I don't know. The penalty is 0.5 mil for 1 day late. I think it takes us 31 days going full speed. Let's load her up. Let's just see. Okay, we've arrived at Hawaii. Use tugs help. Oh no, we were already there. We're going to mooch over there. 5 days, that's fine. Use tugs help. Okay, right. So we are going to arrive 2 days late, which is going to cost us 1 mil, but we should still make 3 mil. Hopefully. But you can see, like, if we had a long delay, if we decided that we weren't going to wait for a storm, we had a storm that was going to take 20 days to go around, it could bankrupt us, the penalties on taking that job. So, right, this is going to be interesting. San Francisco, what options do we have here? Right, we've hit a storm. We're just going to pass through it. Right, we're at San Francisco. 72%. We can't really... Oh, really, really expensive. Can't afford to do that. Refuel. We'll refuel the whole thing. We're down to 1.6, but that should shoot up once we get that job done. And hopefully there's some reasonable contracts here. So that's got 1.5. 1.2, 1.3. Those are good. 1.3 with no risk is good. I'd probably be tempted to go with that. What about London? Terrible. Singapore. Terrible again. Tokyo. Terrible. Back to Pearl Harbor. Quite a quick run there and back to Pearl Harbor, so it's still not great. Okay, we can go to there, make 1.4 mil, but it's a timed one. I think that Cape Town one's pretty good. 1.3 mil and no penalty if we're late. So we will go. Once this arrives in Cape Town, that's when I'm going to end it. You don't have to go at full speed. Save some money. What's happening here? Oh, another storm. This ship's going to be wrecked by the time it gets back. Let's just check our office. Yeah. Gonna have to pay more fees going through here. Oh no, it's gonna go all the way down, and I don't know what you call this down here. I know this is called 6,000. Just use the tug's help. This is called the Horn of Africa, isn't it, down here? I don't know what that's called down there. You have mastered Cape Horn's treacherous seas. That's it, Cape Horn. Was that bad? Is it risky going through there? Stipulated fine for exceeding time allowed. Ooh, must have taken us longer than I thought. 1.8 mil. But we still made a good old chunk of change there. Right, I'm going to lay up here. I don't know, lay up for 30 days. I just want to get this to Cape Town. Icebergs ahead. Navigate the ship by hand. Oh, I haven't had to do this. Go up here. Let's do a Titanic. Go almost full speed. Oh. Whoops. Okay, I should have been concentrating. That's the problem with the mouse. Sometimes you pull things around that you don't mean to. There we go. I think we missed them. Yeah, we did. Should hopefully make it to South Africa with no more issues. And there we go. We're up to 4.3 million. Enough to buy another ship. So there we go. That's Ports of Call. I think that's pretty good fun. Once you kind of figure out some trade routes, I played it like a couple of times and I just ran out of money each time and I had no idea what I was doing, but had a bit of a Google and read some forums, and now I'm making some money. Yeah, I can see how this is an addictive little trading game. I can see why it was popular back in the mid 1980s, and it's nice to know that the same devs are still around working on the game, producing new versions. But anyway, that's it for today, and I will see you again in the next one. Cheers.